universe. Welcome.
The universe.
Mwah. Mwah.
Universe. Without an E. Without an E.
Without an E.
It's
Got that
universe.
This is our voiceover. We've got that new music now.
Yes, we do.
We've
And the
got
new intro. What did you guys think about the new intro? Hello. Moving on up.
We're
Yes,
upgrading
honey.
just about as soon as we can and about right on time. I would say the 7-episode itch is where you start to kind of, you grow a little bit, you learn, you add some voguing music. Why not? But for those that have listened since episode 1, I do want to say the music that you're hearing does sample our original intro.
Yes.
So we're moving forward. It's kind of a remix.
Yes,
to me,
it's a remix. Made by you. You made that remix. So that was Mr. Kendoll King's production.
Yes, but you did the original track. So tell me a little bit about what you did.
Oh, well, okay. So I'm only going to say this so you can take it and you can tell how you'd made the awesome track. So I met with a shamanic Native American flautist.
Of course you did.
Yeah, it just so happens he was also a pop producer, and
Yes.
and I brought my singing bowls to the studio, and I was like, I really want to record my singing bowls, and I was playing them, and he just got his instrument and began to play it, and it was just like, wow. So what you've been hearing this entire time was actually my phone recording the music that's coming from the speakers. That wasn't even the actual bounce down. And so when I sent over the music to you, I sent you a video.
Yes, you did. You did send me a video.
So, and then what did you do with that, Ken?
So I bounced down the audio to the video. There's a lot of, because it's spiritual bowl music. There's a lot of there's not chords in it, if you will. So I was like, I really don't know what I'm gonna do with this, because it's a sound clip, but it's not like, I didn't really know what to do with it. So I had this other beat that was completely almost counterintuitive to what you were hearing. And I was like, all right, let's see how we could chop it up. So I chopped it up, I tuned it a little bit, and then I added a bass line. I Berkeleyed it out, right? I listened to all the notes.
Yes,
I played all the notes on my keyboard that I was hearing, and then I was like, all right, I'm gonna make a bass line featuring these notes. And then I added chords, and then a Vogue piano, and it's not even done. I am in New Jersey right now. We were saying I have a nautical theme. I'm at my mom's house in New Jersey. So I don't have my digital audio workstation with me, but we're gonna be finishing the song as soon as I get back to Boston.
So stay tuned for more. So you got to keep coming back to hear the evolution of the intro, and also, wait, actually, I'm not even gonna say anything because the visual intro is also awesome. Because I changed it a little bit, so I'm so excited.
Okay,
I did, yeah. No. It'll be just a surprise for everybody. So stoked. So today we have a special guest. We finally, ladies and gentlemen, we still have Mr. Carl Alleyne, who's going to be here with us on this fine day. I am so excited because we've been talking about him since literally episode 1.
I told him, I said, Carl, you are technically featured in almost every episode of the show.
True.
Carl, when I met Carl the night I met you.
That's right.
On
stage.
On stage? Right. And I'm going to tell the story. He thinks it's funny now. I just was like, there was so much going on. And when you meet people and there's so much going on, you don't really get a chance to experience someone. So luckily I got to work with Carl for 5 years, and he's one of my favorite people in this world.
Yes.
I wouldn't dream, especially doing this with you, I wouldn't dream of doing this and not featuring him at some point. So I'm glad that we're still early in, and he can just be a part of this, because I know he's got such great insight on life and on culture and community. You and I always would joke, to see if Carl was available to do something and be like, well, I don't know. He's got like 40 kids.
But
So
he almost basically does. He has 5 children, correct?
he has 5 children.
I
He
mean,
has a
how is he
amazing
making a career at like there's so many
in
things
the
that we're going to dive
arts.
into. Yes, we're going to dive
Yeah.
into so much because there's this idea that as a woman having a family and then keeping the artistic career is virtually impossible. But what is it for a man to be to be an artist and to create your tribe and still have be an entrepreneur, be an artist, and still be an amazing person that's constantly inspiring everybody around you. Because I remember we would take literally
Constantly.
business 101 from him every time we drive to like the Cape. So
Business and just life, and there's a lot of stories. So,
yeah, so excited to hop in with him today. So let's invite Carl, Mr. Carl Alleyne, to
let's
the
go, Carl.
show.
Hey, what's up? What's good? Oh my gosh, hey,
Hi,
it's a
Oh my
reunion.
gosh.
It's a
Carl.
reunion.
Oh my God, Carl, it's so good to see you. I literally have not
It's
seen
great to
you
see you.
since like the beginning of like the end of the world. Oh my God.
I know, right? Oh my goodness, it's great to speak to you again.
I miss you.
I miss
You
you too,
know,
man. I really do.
I, we wanted to talk about a little about how we all met and
Yep,
what we did and, what we're doing now.
yep.
I mentioned to Natalie, I met you and her on the same night.
On
We all,
stage.
Wow, on
we all
stage.
showed up. We all showed up to this gig, and I felt like the three of us had this connection, although we had never met. We just
Yeah,
like stepped on in and we did the gig, and
showtime.
I felt like it was incredibly special, especially the years that the three of us shared together.
Yeah.
It was so amazing, so much fun. I know that you've been performing, you said since 96?
Performing in general?
Yeah.
Wow. Performing in general, probably since the 80, 88, 89.
Wow.
88,
Woo.
89.
Wait,
Yeah.
so and I
So you
only
were like
remember
4
this,
years old since
right?
you you were
You were an
performing
infant.
professionally when you were like a
He
toddler.
he was
Wow,
a
Carl.
he
What?
was he was in the womb still, and he was doing commercials in the
Right,
womb.
right, right. Well, I was part of Eye to Eye, the band Eye to Eye since '96, which is a long time.
Got you.
That
Wow.
Yeah.
was, and then probably what, almost not even 20 years actually,
Wow.
until about 2011 or something like that. No,
Mm,
no, that's a
Yeah.
while, huh?
That's a long
wow.
So,
time. That's like
yeah, I've
15
been
years.
performing. I was like 13. I was performing around 88, 89, singing, dancing, more so dancing.
And
Yeah.
you did I mean, it's funny to me because you always sell yourself as a dancer, especially because
Yeah,
that's where your business is. But
Mm,
this
yeah.
man can sing.
that's right.
Thanks. I
This
This
man
appreciate
can
it.
sing.
man,
Appreciate it.
Mm.
I said to Nat before, we do a little pre-filming meeting, and I wanted to talk about what we have both learned from you,
Mm,
especially me, because
but
I step on the gig, I'm always like, stressed or coming from wherever, and I hear you sing, and I'm like, damn, damn, I gotta step it up. So
uh,
Yep.
it's been a pleasure to work with you all these years. I know COVID has totally
mhm,
changed our world and what we're doing.
right.
I know you were in a boy band too for a while.
Yeah, I was in a singing band, singing group. Those are the days of like Jodeci and Boyz II Men were hot and
Yeah,
out. I mean, Boyz II Men
yeah.
is still hot. Um, that was, yeah. We were part of I was part of a singing group called Casual Male with a K, and
Casual male. Oh my
shout out to Casual Male, shout out to Cam,
that
my
sounds
boy. Some of my boys still
Carl,
doing it too.
Wow.
that sounds like your fragrance line. Casual male.
Casual Male. Oh, it was fun. We did a lot of cool things. We did the Apollo. We had a record
Oh.
deal. We met different artists. We got the tour. Um, they did some touring without me.
Mhm.
Because I went back and forth doing singing, but I also started doing backup dancing for a rapper. I wanted to end up doing that too. So,
Yeah.
we had a really cool run. and it was a top notch. It was a top notch quartet. Yeah,
Super
a
cool.
lot of fun.
Man, that sounds like so much
Super,
fun.
super.
Long time, 88, 89. What?
And they're
Hey,
still
man.
doing it, huh? They're still doing it.
Yeah, well, you mean me or them?
No, you said that some of them are
Oh,
they're still going.
yeah, yeah. Well, I had this one of the guys who he's in the army, but he does production. He does vocals and stuff for different churches down south. The dude he still got his chops though. He's definitely got a lot of skills under his belt where he helps out a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about doing a reunion. So at some point we will officially do a reunion where we go out and perform. And we did last year. We did do some singing together, and we still sounded good. I was like, all right, all right, you know. So Casual Mail, shout out to Casual Mail, my homies. We gonna do something again at some point. Something
You
fun
better. I
Yeah.
for
mean,
the
you
city of
better.
Boston.
In the city of Boston. Let me tell you
And
what,
in
you
for
better do it. Carl and I did a song together. It was for the Dance Complex probably 2 years
yeah,
ago.
yeah.
And I sent
I
Carl,
remember that.
you remember, I sent him like 10 beats, and there was two beats I really wanted for myself, and Carl chose the best beat in my opinion, and I was like, damn. But then we wrote, you wrote the song. I produced it. I did all the production, and then you came in, you wrote the song, and you made it was a beautiful. I didn't know you could write like that.
Me neither.
It it was a beautiful. You put these lyrics, and you made it really about the dance complex. So it was sort of promoting that, but at the same time, it was about community and coming
Yeah.
together, coming together.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I still, you know what? If we can get it in post, I want you to play some of the song. It's called "We Are Dance."
It's playing right now, and
It's playing right now.
yeah.
But Carl's vocals on it, just singing something that was original, was just, it was awesome, and it came together super quickly. I mean, I think we did one session at my place, and you really had it all together, and it was awesome. Do you want to continue to work on original music? What's your?
I do, and you'll be one of my
Yeah,
producers.
I definitely want to be.
Yes. It's
I
what I wanted. My end goal is I want to be able to have a platform or whatever, however many platforms where I can, at the drop of a dime, click of a button, I could just push it off,
Yeah.
get it to the right people, get it to a community, build a community, and give them what they want. Give them good quality art. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm heavily into marketing, because sometimes, I think about with Diddy. Diddy was like, he was a backup dancer, right? And then
Was
one
he?
time, yeah, he was a
Yeah.
backup dancer.
Wow.
He was like, he saw directors directing music videos. He's like, I want to do that.
Mm.
And that's what he did. He did that, and he also, of course, he had Bad Boy Records. Now he's doing way more stuff now, and that's why I looked at it, because if and so that's how I am with marketing and sales and stuff like that. If you could market something, if you could sell something, to serve people and give people good quality, man, you'll always have you'll always be able to provide something for people of good quality. Always,
100%. 100%.
always. You know
And
what I
you're
mean?
always
Always.
teaching us. You're always teaching us something. And I feel like, even with your mobile dance studio and even creating community, and from there, even when we were in our classes, our car
Yes, in our
rides,
classes. Let's
our
go.
our car rides.
Our boot
Oh, that
camp.
too,
Sorry.
but classes too, though.
There
Classes
were
too, right?
classes. There were classes. There's something to be said about being able to, experience a lot of what we do on stage, sure, but then also understanding that that creativity also translates into so many different ways of expression. And what you were able to, at least I remember learning so much from you, was being able to look at all of the facets that you have to offer to the world. And you created a small empire. I mean, aside from creating a small nation, of your generation, of your
5
lineage.
kids now,
Yes,
correct?
at five. Yeah,
Five children, five
absolutely.
kids.
You are a leader of a nation. But then from there, like Beantown Lockers, your mobile dance studio. Now I feel like you're also going into marketing, right? Is that what we're alluding to?
Yeah, Yeah, because with COVID, I had to pause my business, the mobile dance studio, because I was doing online classes, but I had family members who got sick, so I was like, look, I need to tend to this. Everything is on pause.
Right.
So I ended up forming a social media agency. So I
Wow.
formed that, and that's going good now. We have some great clients, and it's taking off. So yeah.
I'm very interested in that because you have been talking to me about that in the car on the way to these gigs for a long time, probably 2 years at least. And we've really been trading information. And I mean, I want to be a part of it. You know what I mean? I want to, listen,
Yeah.
UNIVERS podcast. We need some
Yes.
marketing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So we
Oh, you can do a
and
lot
we're
with the podcast too.
Oh yeah.
yeah, and there's so much, Nat and I always talk about how much we're learning as we're doing that,
Yeah.
as we're doing this. And
Yeah.
I think that's really the best way to do it. It's hard to come into something, especially as this medium is changing so rapidly anyway. It's hard to come into this and know exactly what you're doing. Like there's no way you wouldn't learn as you're doing it,
Yeah, for sure.
And there's also no wrong way either. We're really literally creating a brand new paradigm of how to best approach this audience that we have now that is at home or working so much more than they've ever worked before because they have to take this brunt of being able not having enough people to work because either they've been sick, they're quarantined, or because they're at risk or something. So we have this entire new audience that's just sitting there waiting to consume content. How do you give them content that is quality but is right to the point? It has to be so pure because they won't sit there for whatever your 4 or 5 minutes, right? You hope they would, unless you've already built a certain brand. So, as an artist, being able to use that creativity, like I was sharing earlier, of like, how has that been for you at least, funneling everything? I mean, you're a mover, you're a vocalist, you are a writer, you are, a visionary. How have you been able to grab all of that and kind of laser beam it into marketing? Like how has that been that transition for you, especially with the nation, with your tribe? I call it a nation because they're going to have their children, they're going to have their children. It's a nation. Listen, it's biblical. It's a biblical. Listen,
it's biblical. That's a really good question because one thing when I'm talking to clients now, I'm letting them know, look, my background plays a lot with what marketing is, because when I'm dealing with clients now, I have clients who have a hard time communicating what they want to communicate. Yeah, online, on screen, on video, but when they need to talk, because one of the trends now is entrepreneurs, small business owners, they're the ones who are the new celebrities, but they don't see themselves as that. But that's the trend right now. Either way you cut it, So at some point they will find that out. But one of my roles is, when I'm working with the organization, is to work with that entrepreneur, work with that small business owner, or executive, and to help him, like him or her, to say, you know what, hey, okay, here's the thing. Speaking on camera is not too hard. There are different ways you could do it. There's not only one way to do it. You could cut up the videos. Oh, by the way, I learned that while being on a music video set. You know what I'm saying? So, and the cool thing is, what I love about, and this is what makes me unique as an entrepreneur, even compared to my competitors, however you want to say it, is that I had that background, and so my stories will be different than all the other people's stories, because that's my background. So I'll share about my struggle. One of my clients said to me, look, I just have a hard time speaking just with the words and getting the words out. I said, you know what, I have, naturally I have a hard time singing, but this is how I was able to overcome it. And this is how you could overcome it with this. It's the same thing. What it is people expressing themselves to a platform. At the end of the day, we're human beings expressing ourselves, whether to get a message out, to get a song out, to get a story out, whatever it is, it's the same thing. So for me, I look at that, and I treasure that, because it's something special that that God's given me. Like I can use that throughout my journey through life. I can use it now, and God willing, when I'm 67, when I'm 75, when I'm still marketing, I can still use that same experience. And that's what's going to draw my clients to me, or continue to draw my clients.
I
Make
love
sense?
that so much.
Yeah, Carl, we've had so many conversations, and in everything we've talked about in terms of whether it's performing or whether, you telling me about your businesses or me telling you about the other projects I'm doing, you've always said, well, when it comes to what I'm doing, I gotta be me, whatever
Yeah.
it is, right? You've said that to me how many times? 1,000 times maybe.
Yeah.
And in the years that I've worked with you, I've been really inspired by the way you have really sort of carved out your identity, just in the way. I mean, I noticed today you shaved your
I
you
did.
had like a little goatee beard.
Yeah.
But you brought this really cool identity when it came to like the hats you wear on stage. What inspires you in terms of creating your identity in all the work that you do?
When I look at it, I think about it's like grocery shopping for me. I'll go down the aisle, and I might have a list, I might not have a list. Sometimes it doesn't matter. Sometimes you ain't gonna have a list anyway when you go shopping.
Right.
You're picking this, you pick that. Oh, I need some strawberries. Oh, you know what, man, I haven't had pineapple in a minute. Let me get that pineapple. And it's like you're picking these different flavors and these different things that's gonna make your meal. I like talking about food because I love food.
I love
I'm a
food.
foodie. I'm a wannabe foodie.
Love
You put all that stuff together and you have a nice meal, and then you end off the night a nice bonfire with s'mores and all that good stuff. You know what I mean? You make it good. It's all about the experience. I'm passionate about giving myself experiences, because if I give myself a good experience, I'm gonna love it so much. I'm gonna share it, and I'm gonna give other people a good experience. So that's what it comes down to for me. I make it simple because the more simple I could do it, the faster I could communicate it to people. So and it's good because I know I'm confident and I know it comes from the inside. Even though I'll admit sometimes that gets tested. Even with my company, it gets tested sometimes in different parts of different companies that I have. But at the end of the day, I knew if I was to ask myself, man, did I do the right thing? Yeah, I did. I was me because that's all I can be. There's no one else who can be me like me, and I'm good.
There you go.
Say it for the people in the back. Say it for the people in the back.
You know what I'm saying? I got that in the bag. If I jack everything else up, I'm good with that.
Amen.
So.
Amen.
That's amazing. And yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, especially now more than ever, I feel like the world has been creating these personas that we have to be, and I find that now the more that we honor ourselves and the more that we put ourselves out there. Actually, this is what you and I, Ken, were talking about before we even started recording, is like allowing, almost elbowing ourselves in there and being like, there's space for me too. And giving that space. But I love the fact that you're able to honor that as you go through the entire experience, so then you can simplify it for others. And I love that so much, because that is, I feel like that's what you've been doing with your entire life, is always etching and mowing down a road and an entire, like, a freeway for others to go this way. This is the simplest way. And I did the work. I did it. But this way, guys, this way. Not only with how you carry yourself, but also just like everything that you have done has been about creating community and creating a space for people to, even, I remember when as a little member, you had a little side hustle where you were helping the people that were about to get married get their first dance together. Yes.
Still got
And
that.
I remember yes,
Groom Academy.
please. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So you would come sometimes, I mean, exhausted. And that's something that Ken and I would always latch on to, like, all right, Carl, I know, started the day at 4:42 a.m. today. And
Yes.
and I'm tired because I came from a bus, but like Carl did like my whole life this whole year this morning. So come on, Ken, let's do this. Let's hit this monster. Let's do this gig,
Yes.
because you were always just like, yo, let's go. Even when it was those gigs that were terrible. But sometimes you share these stories of like, man, I had today this groom, man. He's just, yeah. Yeah. But you're
still
able
doing
to,
it too.
yeah, I'm sure. But as I'm saying, like, but you're also able to bring that talent into breaking down for people that are not very comfortable in front of the camera and sharing their brand and being like, hey, You know, it's not that it's not as hard as you think it is. It's
That's
you
right.
got right, left foot, step forward, 1, 2. You got this. Like, you know, so
Yeah.
this is for everybody out there. Do it. Just do
Yes.
Step
Yes.
forward, 1, 2. And
You know.
the thing about I loved what you did was you would do, you know, you'd probably wake up with your family, 5 kids, get them food. Then you had 4 classes you would teach.
Yeah.
Then you drive to the Cape.
Drive us to
Mhm.
the Cape. Drive
Drive
all
us
of us to the
right?
Cape. Your other
Or,
children.
or Vermont, right?
Or Vermont, where
Yeah.
or one day and the opposite the other
Your
day.
other children.
Yeah.
And then one thing I always noticed about you was that there was we get on stage all tired or whatever. We've got something going on in our lives. We get on stage and then these older women start coming up to you. And I didn't know if you knew them or if you were just really friendly, but you just had this energy that you brought them in and you would Carl, I mean, to those that don't know Carl could get a 90-year-old woman to get up and dance, even if it's for 2 minutes, you know. And I
Or
think
shout.
there's
She
some
was up there.
Get on up.
for shout, right? And I just think there's something incredibly electric about that energy. I just felt that, you know, for me, it was like, for me, I would always take you to read the crowd first. And I'd be like, all right, Carl did it. I can do it too. You know, boom, 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 boom.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah.
That's right.
So I guess I want to ask you, how do you find, I know you always talk about protein. We'd show up to a gig and Carl would be like, I need to get my protein before this gig. Let's go. Always talking about health. But you know what? How do you, I say find, how do you find that energy? Or maybe how do you generate that energy when it's hard to have it? Where do you go?
Totally.
Where do you
Totally.
go?
You know, the way I look at myself, at the end of the day, I break it down simple for myself. I'm a cheerleader, you know. I be praying for strength. I'm like, Lord, give me strength, because I don't even know if I can make it. You know, you may not see me doing that. But right before I sing those, my throat's dry. If I'm about to sing that song, the music comes on. All right, Lord, give me strength. I ain't you know what I mean? And I'm all right. Here we go. That's it. But for me, you know, as well, you know, I realize my gift isn't so much even dancing, singing, whatever. It's I'm a cheerleader, you know. And so I
Yeah.
take that gift and that calling. I call it a calling too. I take that calling, you know. I take it seriously, but I don't always take it seriously. But I take it and I own it. I take it and I own it. So I can cheer people on without speaking. I can cheer people on, which I'm like, I need to, because my voice goes out. I need to do it anyway. But I can cheer people
Right.
by raising my hands, commanding a crowd. You know what I mean? Even if people don't want to be commanded, there's someone in there who would be encouraged. There's someone in there wherever you go who you can encourage. And I know that, I realize that, and I'm convinced of that. You know, so for me, it's a simple thing of I'm a cheerleader. That's my thing. That's my role in my house, when I go on the street, wherever, you know, in traffic, when everyone's acting up. If I want to curse someone out, I'm in, you know, okay, let me just so I could be a cheerleader by just setting an example. Okay, all right, have a good day, bye. And inside, I'm like, what? You kidding? You know? So, but that's my, you know, I take that gift and I own it. You know, I'm proud of it. You know, and even saying cheerleader, some people could look at that as cheerleader. That's weird. What? No, but that's what it is. You know, I like to cheer people on, and I want to be in people's corner, and I want people to feel that from me, even if they can't articulate it. That's what it is. You know what I mean? And I want people to, you know, what's that expression that people say? They don't remember exactly what you say, but they will remember how you made them feel. You know?
Yes.
Yeah,
I
you
say
know what I
that all
mean?
the time.
Yeah, I like that. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I want that to be me at the end of my life. I want that to be said about me. Like, man, he was one of the most encouraging guys I know, you know? Not just that he was nice, but yeah, he really cheered me on to do this or do that. And he inspired me to do this or say that, or, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So I want to be that way. Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
you
Joe.
are being that way. You are being that
Thank
way.
you.
Trust
I
me.
say,
Yes.
you know, you've helped me change my perspective when there was a whole bunch of different things. Even, even if you didn't know, just by watching you, you've really helped me change my perspective. I remember after I met you, you had this light, like as Oprah says, you carry the light, right? And I was like, there's no way this guy is that nice. Like
I remember that. No, this is true.
Funny.
Ken would
Really?
always come. Yes, Ken would always come my corner and be like, "What if he's like super shady, but he's like being hi." And we would just keep on that. We would, yeah, right. Look at him.
That's hilarious. I love it.
I mean, Carl's got
I love
an amazing sense of humor, but I was like, there's no way. I was like, there's no way this person is that nice. And I really got to know you. And once I sucked in your energy, I was like, yeah, you know what? You can lift your, Nat, we always talk lift your vibration, right?
Yep.
I love it.
You can lift your vibration to, and that's not, I mean, it can be spiritual, but it's really just internal, Yeah. You can lift your vibration. And I think for me, being gay, I always felt a little out of place. So when I was inspired by people, I always felt that I was most inspired when I saw people that were just being themselves. I didn't need to see someone who was really rich. I didn't need to see someone that had a lot of accolades on a resume. If you're just being yourselves and you're giving yourself the space to do it, then for me, I mean, that's always where I thought your energy came from. It was always just you're giving yourself the space to be yourself, and that, I don't know, that was always super special to me.
No, I appreciate that. And for me, I believe my energy definitely comes from God. And that's part one. The part two of that is that, when you talk about giving yourself the energy and the space and the grace, that's important. You know what I mean? As well. So I feel like that's for me too. Like I'm able to give myself the space. I might need a moment. I might need a minute to get there, but I'm allowed to give myself that space to get to where I need to get to. And you know what? I realize, I think probably from my past experiences, some good and some bad. That's okay. Some people will be happy with it. Some people won't be. You know what, though? I can sit there and be comfortable and know that I made that choice and said, you know what? I gave myself some space, and I'm happy with that. I'm content with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, but that I realized that even that attitude could get me. I realized too that could work against me. It could take me longer to get to where I need to get to, but at least I get there confidently and comfortable in my skin. You know what I mean?
Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So there's such a yin and yang. There's such a balance to that to strike. And I'm continually trying to hone it and work on it because I think that's so important for me, for my wife and my kids and leaving a legacy. I want them to be able to see that because I realize even having kids, there's so much I want to teach them and so much I can't teach them just by words because my kids don't want to hear everything I'm saying. That ain't gonna happen. I just came to that conclusion. But setting the as well as getting the mentors and stuff, but setting the example though, at least they can remember they had the opportunity to do certain things or be like a certain way or you know what I mean.
Yep.
And me continually being there for them, present. Like now, even now, I'm able to be there more present. I'm able to be more present and here for them, which is great.
Yeah.
And I want to ask you a little bit about that as well. How throughout your career were you able to balance the work family? Because I was talking with Kay a little bit earlier, and I was saying like I think that was always sure the mindset for sure, but I find that there's a lot of components that come in time management. Having a partner that understands your passion and having because you have your children are what are their ages? You have a few teenagers, right? You have a few teenagers too. So it's like, how are you able throughout your career to be able to balance both, especially as a man? Because I know as a woman, the idea of having a family and then also choosing the artistic career is like, forget it. And it's like, no, I'm watching a lot of people that are able to do it. So how about
Yeah.
for you as a father? Because you were still able to
Yeah.
be very present, which is something that I'm sorry, but you do not see that in your Netflix shows or anywhere in media where it
No.
shows that that he was an artist, but you know, dad was always around too. It's like you won't see that, but yet you are actively showing through physical work in the real that this media idea is not true. So
Yeah.
how has that been for you, if you don't mind sharing?
Oh no, not at all. It's interesting, because there are different components. There's one component which I like the most, which I tried my best to make it fun, and it is fun actually. Just that that whole I've always heard with judo, you use other people's momentum against them.
Mm.
So
Ooh.
I like using. I'm a momentum's guy. I love momentum. I got some good momentum. I need to start work at a certain time. I need this. I need to. I listen to my what is it called? I'm all into time management, and I think it's Brain FM. Brain FM is a app that you can use
Oh yeah.
where, by the way, I'm not endorsing it. I'm just saying it's a great product
Just some
where
fun tips, guys.
it's a fun tips. It's a great tool where it helps you to get into a zone just like that. If you need to focus, it has focus music. If you need to meditate, it has meditative music. If you need to wind down and sleep, it has sleep music. So
Oh, great.
if I need to go to sleep, I'll listen to beach sounds or Brain FM, and the momentum does so well for me because the results of it, I'm able to be there and be more present for people, so I say the whole momentum to say that even with my kids, I I use their momentum. If they're silly and goofy, I'm silly and goofy. When they're not, I am, because I know they like that, and that's what draws us closer together. So if I've been away for the weekend gigging, I can do that with one of my kids, my daughter, and I play footsies with her, step on her feet, and she'll step on my feet or whatever. Silly little game. But doing that draws us together just like that. That reconnects us. You know, um, and just even studying people out, studying what the needs are of your surroundings. Like I love to learn. Love learning is so fun. When I
Yeah.
was younger, never liked to read when I was younger, but I do love to learn, and I love learning people, um, and learning people for the sake of what's going to help them. So I'm always trying to learn my wife, learning her love languages, learning my kids' love languages, learning what they don't like, learning what irks my wife, and just saying, hey, I want you to be successful. So how can I help you to be successful? Like if we're about to argue, if there's tension where there's a possibility we could argue, I'm not, she'll tell you, I can share this. I'm not gonna argue with her. I'm just gonna be like, okay, and I'm listening, and I might be heated or whatever, but I'm not gonna do it because I know where that can go. I'm not a conflict avoider, but I'm an environment creator. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So,
Mm.
but that's so for me. That's where I land with things. I'm a huge momentum guy. I love time management. Even and I know that even if I don't hit the mark I want to hit, I can start over. Hit the start button. Start over. I don't always. That's not always my attitude. But at the end of the day, as a whole, that's where I land. You know what I mean? So I try to combine all those things. I'm always trying to learn things and seeing how I can apply it. And keeping things fun for me is important. You know what I mean? Um, yeah. So those are the things that helps me out with family. Like, and also, I do realize that I could carry this into my family, but I also could carry it into other areas of my life, which is a hack for me. I'm like, oh shoot, yeah, I could that what I just said, I could do that. And okay, well, how else
Right.
can I apply that with work? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm always looking for the opportunity and how I can use something, so it can work for me and how it can work for other people around me.
I love that. And
Mm.
we've been talking, you said environment creator, and that stuck with me because beforehand, Nat and I, oh, did I go dark for a sec?
No,
Am I back?
you're still here. You're
Okay.
still here.
Um, before we started, we were talking about, just dealing with negative people. And I may have learned this from you, Carl. I just said, I'm not gonna even entertain it anymore. I'm just gonna go somewhere positive with it rather than
Yeah.
taking it to a more negative place. And I think that's really important. I did want to ask you, you know, you and I, well, the three of us have, you know, we toured New England for a while.
I got toured New England.
Carl and I, that's how we say it, okay? Carl and I, we did it together 5 years. You know, your performance, and you know, like you said, you've been performing since '88. Like, you're going on a new path now in terms of your performance. I want to know how you plan, because I know you're going to continue to teach. I want to know how you want to continue to perform in different ways.
That's a good question. That's a really good question, because you know, things are constantly changing. I still have my dance crew, Beantown Lockers. You know, they during this time of COVID, it was hard for us, right? Lock it up. Hey, shout out to Beantown Lockers. They've been going on without me. I took a leave of absence, because you know, I dealt with some COVID with my family too. So they've been going without me. They're still going. We have some projects coming up, and it's cool because I could plug myself in and just go for it. You know, they're amazing. So I'm performing with them. As far as my music, you know, I'm just trying to visualize where I want to go, because I want to be able to pull a band together and just jam, you know, with no limitations. Whatever music I want to play and sing and just give people a good time to. If I want to do some go-go vibe, some Johnny Kent vibe, I can do some mint condition vibe. Okay, here we go. The next song, let's transition into this, you know?
Yes.
And I like freedom, because the more free people are, the better they can express themselves. I realize that, and that's for me, and that's for the other people around me. So I just love giving those opportunities. So that's what I want to do with the music, and I also want to record and put out music.
You better.
Who knows? And who knows? Maybe some sort of record label. I know technology, it's provided so many different opportunities. But I do want to, at different parts of the year, I want to be able to put out music, do some showcases, and fill up the room. Use my marketing skills to fill up the room and give people a good time, baby. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Sometimes it's not that serious. It's just, let's just have a good time and be able to, you know, and be able to make profit from it. Quite frankly, because
of course
it's not even so much about the money, but it's for me, as I learn it more and more as a marketer, it's about creating that opportunity and creating that that blueprint, so other people can learn it and copy it and do it for themselves as well, so they don't struggle. Like, some things are so backwards. Like, as artists, we shouldn't be struggling. As artists, that whole starving artist thing, I'm on a mission to squash that terminology, because it's not true.
Good.
With artists, we're the ones who give people a good time. We're the ones who, you know, back in the 90s and in the early 2000s, and I wish it was, I don't think it's like that as much, but you hear people say, look, I listened to that song and it saved me from committing suicide. I wanted to run away, and I heard that song and it inspired me. You know what I mean? That's what music does. We tell the stories of the streets. We tell people how things could be. You know, with a lot of stories that we tell through music. And we, as artists, we get the short end of the stick. I just don't think that's right. So one of my missions, you know, as an artist, as an artist and entrepreneur, is to be able to provide those open doors where people can learn blueprints from me, and they could copy those blueprints, and they could be successful. You know what I mean?
Love that.
I love
we
that.
We could change that. We could change that paradigm. Like, I told some of my friends, even with my family, like now with my business, what I'm trying to do is I want to be able to travel to different areas of the world and encourage people, you know, at the drop of a dime if I wanted to. You know, I mean, that's because that's where we live. That's America. But there are a lot of things that we need to dismantle in order to make those opportunities happen for people. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
Yes,
100%.
A lot of where, you know, even the way we got together was because of what we were inspired by, you know. And now I think we're all coming to a place where we can be the inspirers, even if we don't have a huge record deal, or if we don't have, you know, millions of dollars to do it. We can find ways within our community, and I know community is really huge to you. We can find ways to really start being the inspirers. And
True.
I think that's great, you know, and I think that we're just at the beginning. And I've learned so
That's
much
right.
of that from you, Carl, honestly.
I
I will tell
appreciate
you.
that, man. Appreciate that. Now, I mean, you know, I learned a lot from you guys too. You know, I mean, I just, you know, you guys are so talented, you know, and I'm singing, you know, I feel like even as a vocalist, I've had to work 5 times as harder as a lot of singers. I don't know, for some reason, which is okay because it helps me to learn work ethic and things like that, you know.
Mhm.
But I love how passionate you guys are about what you do and how you're able to, like, you guys are able to tell stories of what you do. Like, you know, I mean, Natalie, I mean, man, as a performing artist, man, it's
Man.
like all you gotta say is Nat. It's like, dang, beast, killing it, killing
Oh,
it,
you
and just
guys.
fierce, fierce,
You guys
fierce. You
tell me.
know,
You
Nothing.
and you
know,
know,
yeah.
can with the notes, and it's just the
You
gifts that
with
you
the
guys have.
notes.
I
Yes.
appreciate it, man.
I don't know
The
how to
gifts
sing
you all
certain
have is
songs
beautiful.
without singing it like Carl sings it. To this day, if there's certain songs that I will do your riffs and the way that you would approach a song.
Oh,
Absolutely.
oh,
Same thing with you,
hey,
Ken. There's certain songs that I will
yep.
only sing it the way Ken sings it because I
Oh,
don't. I don't hear it any other way in my head.
I thought I was the only one who copied. I was copying y'all. I thought I was the only one. You too? Oh,
No,
good. Yes.
I I
Yes.
I still hear songs. I still hear songs on the radio that both of you would do, and I'd be like, "Oh, well, that's how they wrote it." Oh.
Right.
I know it a
Yeah,
different way, you know. And
exactly.
it's because of you guys. And I think that, you know, we're not together anymore in the way that we
Yep.
were, but I think, you know, we were speaking about legacy earlier, and I think just having those memories, having that legacy is something we can use in the inspiration that we generate towards the next generation, in our eldership, if you will.
I
That's
agree.
right.
And also, hey,
Me
listen, we're
too.
sharing a different stage now, everybody.
We are,
It's a
and we
different
can we
stage.
can do this whenever we want to do it, you know.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And speaking of that, Carl, what's next for you? Like, what is the
Yes.
next
Um,
big steps? Because I know we're going into 2021,
mm,
2022.
Oh,
What is I mean, you know, what are the next big steps not only for you personally, but for like the big picture, right? I mean,
mm.
say it, you know.
Oh,
The
I mean,
big
the big picture. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, that
Yeah.
was it.
Oh, the big picture for me is simple. You know, as far as I mean, career wise, you know, I want to be able to sell anything at any point at the drop of a dime.
mm,
And it's not, like I mentioned, it's not about the money. Money's just a tool to exchange for something that you value. It's it's what you provide for people. It's how you can serve people. Um, you know, what I wanted to do too, you know, travel in different parts of the world and educate my kids, in which, thankful for schools. I honestly am thankful for schools, but there's certain things that schools can't teach my kids. You know, no hate
right.
against the teachers. The teachers do an amazing job. You know, most
Say it
of them.
again for the people in the back.
You know, the teachers. Most of them, right? Miss Natalie got the background. I
Yes,
know you a
uh-huh.
great teacher, right?
I was pretty good.
You know what I mean? But there's things I want to teach my kids. There are experiences that I want to give them. And I know different parts of this journey, I will be wearing different hats. Like for me, I don't really have a 10. I know there's wisdom in having a 10-year plan and 10-year goal. But right now, I
Mm,
decided, you know what? Nope, I'm throwing it out the window because right now I'm going to train on what and focus on what I need to do right now. And I want to have that mindset. It's more of a mindset I'm after. Because if I had that mindset, I could work on a project for the next 6 months and take a break, and then work on a project for the next 3 months and take a break, or work on a project for 2 weeks and take a break. It's all different, and
yeah.
society teaches different things, So I'm trying to break the paradigm in my own head. That's why I don't have a 10-year plan right now, because I'm breaking some paradigms in my mind.
Glory.
But
Wow. Wow.
ultimately, my goal is to be able to sell anything, and be able, and not just sell anything, but be able to pinpoint and provide a great quality value for that customer,
Right.
and that could go with music, that could be with you know, a construction business owner, that could be with an executive at State Street, that could be someone in India. It doesn't matter, but because it's a language that I'm trying to communicate and really, really get good at. And if I can get good at this and land this, and I can be able to teach other people as well, you know. So it's kind of general, but it means a lot to me because it's a value to me, you know. And then as I'm working on that path, I'll be working on different projects. You know, I have the different projects now, like even my business right now my social media agency. That's a good way for me to have a platform. That's one platform that I can help other people. And also, if I want to push some other things myself for my brand on it, I can do as well. You know what I mean? If I want to. And if I don't want to, I just won't. You know what I mean? I just want to have that decision-making power to be able to do that, you know, and all along the way. And then with technology now, there's a lot of stuff you can just automate and just keep going. You know, the stuff can just keep going. So, and while I'm doing that, I'm really just teaching my kids and loving my kids and my wife. And we're, you know, we'll probably do some projects together too. My family, my wife and I, we're going to write some books. Like I'm going to write some books too.
I was gonna say, I'm like, please tell me when the book is coming out because I will absolutely write it. Oh.
This year, I'll definitely write a book. I will definitely write a book this year. God willing, I'll definitely write a book. But my wife and I, we're going to write a book as well, you know, and it's going to be about marriage, things like that. So, you know, even with all that, my thing is just learn the tools, get the skills so that you can do it whenever you want to. You know what I'm saying? So I just been working hard at just developing my skills and getting good. And I also, through it all, I want to have a really good reputation. You know, I want my reputation to speak for me.
I think you really do in anything that you do. Carl, I love you so much. We both love you.
Me too, brother.
I want to thank you for joining us on UNIVERS podcast.
Yeah. Love you,
Tell us where we can find your agency, how we can get in touch with you, your listeners.
Sure. So the agency is Your Brand Expressed Media, and it's yourbrandexpressed.com.
Okay. Your Brand Expressed.
You could also go to That's right. You could also go to carlalleyne.com as well. Still developing that website, but you could find it. It's going to be updated in the next 2 weeks, and we'll have a lot of information on there as well as far as other things that I'm doing.
All those links are going to be below, so make sure to click on them, and make sure to follow Carl. Please follow him on all social media. All his links are right underneath us in the description below, and please make sure to subscribe and follow him because there's so much, so much there, and not to mention the generations to come. So thank you so much, Carl.
I'm so excited about your future. I know we've come to an end of our weekly performances together, but I think, you know, like I said to you on the phone, I'm bummed that that's not going to happen as much, but I said to you, I said congratulations because there's such a bright future for you. You're just getting started, and I want to be along the ride.
Same. So we will have you back. We will have Carl back, everybody, because we have to continue to see how this is all evolving, especially when your books come out, especially when there's other things that we will absolutely be. We always talk about you on the show anyways. So like
always. You were the first person we referenced on this show. We really love you too.
Yes, we really do. It's an honor to have you on. So everybody, this is Carl.
Everyone, Carl Alleyne, thank you so much for doing this show. We want to say, everyone, like and subscribe to our stuff as well. All the links for Carl will be below the video, and we will see you next week on the UNIVERS.